This is the Freeheel Life Podcast, episode number 71. I'm your host, Josh Madsen, coming at you from the Freeheel Life shop in Salt Lake City, Utah. And it's another fine Monday, my Telemark friends, brothers and sisters of the turn. And I'm back. So, April is always interesting because in Salt Lake, it's like pretty much hot. So, it's pretty much like 70 degrees, which is great. Stoked for transitioning into spring and summer, but that also means that we are going to close the shop. I thought we were going to close a little later, but I think so we can kind of tie up loose ends. We decided to close this past Saturday, and if you are listening out there and you're one of our local customers and you need to get a hold of us, we'll still be available. Email customerservice@freeheellife.com or call the number on our website, and you can schedule a time to come by. We're just trying to get all the service out, and if there's an emergency, you can always hit us up and we can try to do our best. We'll still be around. We're just gonna kind of close up shop and try to get a couple turns in, testing some products, doing some content, and just generally kind of finishing up the season. So it just seemed time that we moved on into the springtime. With that said, if you're one of our online customers, we're going to be jamming as usual online. There's still plenty of stuff for sale. We decided we're going to let go of some demo boots as well. So we did most of our skis and got that out the door, but we are going to release some of our demo boots. So stay tuned for that this week, and we will be posting those across our channels. Best thing to do to stay in touch over the summer, we're going to be releasing a bunch of new lifestyle stuff and all sorts of other fun things over the summer, and news and announcements. And we always encourage you to sign up for our mailing list. So please do that. You can find it in the notes in the podcast. And we just love to stay in touch with you. And social media is always a good way to stay in touch as well. So today, we're going to be joined by one of my other staff members that you may have seen on our social media, but maybe you're not sure who he is many times. And he's in a series of gold outfits, very well dressed, I might say, probably the most well dressed out of all of us. And he has taken over a new position that we created this year called the Used Gear Specialist. So he's handling all of our consignment items, taking those in, processing them, used gear, reselling gear, parts, all that good stuff. So he's keeping people moving and helping new people get into the sport, and also helping people find deals on used gear. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Nate Nordell, joined by myself and Taylor Johnson. Here we go. All right, welcome to the podcast. How's it going, you guys?
Another day in paradise.
Oh,
he better have said that
right off the bat.
Well, who is with us today? My voice, Tele Tay, over on mic number 1.
Riva 1.
And
we got 24 karat Telly, or Nate
the
Nordell.
gold standard.
The gold standard of Telemark. Nate Nordell in the house. Good to see you, Nate.
Good to be here.
I think you're the one that was most excited about doing this, and we probably should have made you wait till the last, but we didn't. Oh.
Fail.
Well, Tay with the party foul already.
Dude.
Oh.
Well, that looks a little foamy, Tay.
That was a big spill there, Tay.
Dude. This
Oh.
was in the fridge all day. Apparently it wasn't in the fridge about 20 minutes ago.
That was probably the most exciting start to a podcast yet.
Yeah, I thought hockey players were supposed to Zamboni their spilled beers.
How do you Zamboni a beer?
Slurp it up with your mouth.
That's disgusting. Especially off this table. Nobody knows. This is like an old Wintersteiger tuning table. All right. Anyways, while Tay's
I lost half my pint.
while Tay's dealing with his beer, Nate, good to have you here. Nate's finishing up his second year at the Freeheel Life, and he is our used gear specialist. We made him a fancy position this year, which is actually extremely necessary, but we kind of always we do a lot of used gear through here. I'm sure a lot of you guys have bought used gear from us in the past, and we really appreciate that. And yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you do here. So actually, let's back up. Tell me how you even ended up here. I want to kind of hear. I think this is a fun story because I kind of remember meeting you, but I think I was running around too much, and you also were like super long-haired hippie, and because you came in for like a year or two, right?
Yeah.
Before you started working here?
Yeah, I was a customer for at least 2 years before I started working here.
I literally don't remember. Do you remember him with long hair?
I don't. Sorry, Nate.
Like, I definitely looked like a totally different person when I was growing my hair out while my cousin was on his mission, but as soon as he got back, he was like, that looks gross, get rid of it. And so
for those of you that are not from Utah, he's talking about a Mormon mission, I think.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you could go on other missions for other denominations, but usually when we're from Utah, that's a kind of a given. So 2 years you grew your hair out.
Yep, didn't touch my head hair with any scissors or buzzers for 2 years.
Wow.
Kind of as a solidarity thing, because he was my big little ski buddy, and he was gone, and I was like, okay, haven't ever had long hair, might as well have some long hair.
What is the biblical? Is that Samson that grew his hair out?
Samson.
Yeah, see, look, I'm on it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there was no Delilah, though, I don't think, right? You just cut it?
No, it was just like the way down to
Did I get that right?
Did you lose your strength?
No, I think I got a little bit more Tele strength.
You got Tele strength when you shaved your head?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyways, but you said you started coming in the shop, and I think and I do remember, I vaguely remember you because of Chris, your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Because Chris is his mom dates Todd Stewart, who I know from Powder Whore days.
Correct.
And so there was like a connection there, but so tell me, so you were a customer, but then like, I don't even remember how you ended up working here, to be honest.
Well, I
Did Tay hire you?
Nate walked into the golf course and I was working and...
No, there's some backstory behind this.
Okay, more backstory. Nate, fill me in. We'll get to the golf course part.
Okay. So actually, I was perusing Instagram one day and found Tele Tay's page. And first video I ever saw was him throwing a nice little butter 3 on the roller, dropping off from the top of Collins over to Sugarloaf. And I was like, that's really cool. And I was skiing at Alta and Snowbird at that time, and I ended up seeing him in line one day and followed him for a few laps. And then,
did he know you were following him?
No. No, it was very much like, oh, I want to see where this guy skis and how he skis, and just like perused behind him and was like, okay, following.
I like that you're using all these like really nice words, but pretty much you were stalking him. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Tele Tay was getting stalked by...
That's all right. I mean, I think that's something to be proud of.
That's cool. I like it. The Tele Butter got him stoked. So then, okay, so you actually followed him on the hill.
Yeah, and then multiple times throughout that season, I was like, oh, there's Tele Tay. I'm going to follow him for a few laps. And then it was like, usually when he went over to the Eagle's Nest, I was like, not going over there.
Oh.
That's where the goods are.
I have like this weird image of like you on the high tee.
Did you ever say hi, or were you just like always like 20 feet behind me?
No, total incognito, like probably like 5-6 chairs behind you for a couple of days.
I could just imagine him on the high traverse at Alta, which is like, if you're not from here, like the high tee is this epic long traverse to get out to where you're talking about Eagle's Nest. So that could get weird too, because it kind of bottlenecks at the corner.
Yeah.
Like, what if you just bump into him and you're like, oh, hey, Tele guy.
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't know there was any other telemarketers up
here. Yeah. And then I tossed you 2 beers at Frank's
Oh, geez.
And then I ran into you at the golf course, so I'll let you take over from there.
Okay, thanks for the beers.
Do you remember getting beers?
Not at all.
People don't remember anything at Frank. Anyways, Frank's coming up. Real quick, explain what, because this is relevant to what's happening. Frank is like a end of year celebration at Alta. How would you describe Frank? Either one of you can field this.
Best party I've ever been to. Both years I've been.
Yeah, it's a wild party. I would say most people, not most, there are definitely people consuming many substances and people in retro outfits and straight skis and ski blades. And usually people come up with shovels the day before and build a bunch of jumps, and they have, the Frank World Classic, kind of a very unofficial competition with hot dog skiing. So hot dog, skiing, Frank's goes hand in hand. Everyone's grilling hot dogs, throwing meats around.
Yeah. If you've never been hit with a hot dog in the face while at Frank, you haven't been to enough.
I guess is that where Frank came from, was hot dogging? Is that really where the name came from? I always wondered that. Or is there a Frank?
I don't know. I don't know the origin of Frank, but Frank is within all of us.
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
all right.
Frank's coming up, but before that, the more important day, the smelly knee pad, is coming up. Then Frank the following weekend.
Good plug.
But okay, so back to Nate. We're at the golf course. I'm working. Nate walks in. Hey, are you Tele Tay? Yeah. Who are you?
I'm the guy that gave you 2
Nate.
beers.
I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, feeling nice. Like, sweet. This kid just recognized me for tele skiing. I'm going to toss him a few range tokens, allegedly, in case someone from the Salt Lake City Golf Corporation is listening. Allegedly. And then, did we talk about a job or just...
No, not at all. It wasn't. It was
just like,
a few
hey,
months
what's up?
later.
Like, cool, you play golf and tele ski.
Yep.
We can be friends.
Yeah. And then a few months later, emailed in, and I got a hold of Ashley, and I was like, do you guys have any job openings opening up? And then she sent me your email, and I was like, had no idea you worked here.
Oh, no, wait. You didn't know you worked here?
No.
Even after the range?
I guess
nope.
I got to plug Freeheel Life on my personal Instagram a little more so
Way to-
that people
way to
know
go,
I
Tele
work
Tay.
here. Sorry.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'd worked with you a couple of times coming in with Chris because Chris wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
The Todd connection.
Oh, that actually is the year you started working. I do remember that because Chris came in and had all those mounting questions, and you guys had been like sitting at home for like hours with like diagrams of where to mount his skis.
And then he came in and asked you, and you're like, just put him on rack. And he did.
The simple answer.
I remember those skis too because it was like I don't remember. Do you remember which ski it was?
Armada Declivity 115s.
That's what it was.
Big mountain, 192.
Oh,
Yeah.
those were.
Mhm.
Yeah. But he like wanted to
ski switch.
He wanted
and,
to ski switch. That's what it
throw
was.
backflips and spins.
He had like a huge criteria, but none of it like in my head kind of matched up because I was like, so you want to throw like backflips and like stomp stuff, but you want to ski switch, but they're like 190.
They're
something.
big mountain
Stiff
skis.
2x4s.
They're made for skiing 80 miles an hour down faces in Chamonix.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Anyways, shout out to Chris though, because I know hopefully Chris listens to this.
Oh, he does.
Didn't he remount that? What was
He blew those up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That dude skis so hard.
He's a chronic
Yeah.
exploder of skis.
Yeah.
I think it's at least one pair every year for the last 3 years that I've skied with him hard.
Jesus.
The warranty department at Armada must just love him.
Yeah.
So that was so it was right after that you started working here.
No, I'd started working at that point.
Oh, that when he came in.
Mhm.
Jeez, my brain's not remembering very well.
It's March, people. We're brain fried.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
But yeah, Ashley then sent me Taylor's email, and I was like, oh, geez, I hopefully think this is going to be good. And
Hopefully he doesn't realize I've been following him.
yeah.
No idea. No idea.
And emailed Taylor, and then he got back to me pretty quick and was like, come in and meet you, Josh. And then I came in, sat down with both of you, and now I have a job.
That's awesome. Yeah, because Yeah, because last year was the first year. I feel like that went pretty. I don't even remember what happened the first year. But you hopped into this new role this year, which is like been awesome because I always wanted to have like a specialist guy that was in charge of used gear. And you do a lot. I mean, basically all of us do a lot of different things, but like we finally had someone to focus on like used equipment, parts, consignment, and doing all that, and buying and selling. And you took that position. You did good. You did awesome.
I think this year was definitely a success. There's definitely room for improvement, but I think the used gear industry comes pretty easy to me after years of KSL flipping on my own.
KSL is like Craigslist in Salt Lake for you guys that don't know.
Oh, thank you.
Nate's always hunting for a deal.
Yeah.
You are the deal. You are the deal guy.
He probably also owns the most skis out of all of us and
Yes.
rotates through. Nate is sentimental about no ski.
No. Well, one
Ski, maybe. But if there was a better ski, it's out of there.
Yeah. It's always trying to find the perfect quiver, and usually I'm swapping between 3 and 6 pairs of skis out of my quiver every year.
Yeah, so how big is the quiver? That's the question.
7 skis at the moment.
Oh, it's only 7? Okay.
Well, I have
No.
like 80 pairs of skis in my room, but like only 7 I actually ski on.
Yes, that was the question. How many skis do you own that are potentially skiable?
83.
83?
Yeah.
You own 83 skis.
83 pairs of skis.
Nate, do we have to have an intervention?
No.
That would be an awesome, like, totally. He's like hoarding skis in his room. 83 pairs of skis?
Yeah.
They're all skiable.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Like some of them wouldn't be very fun, but like you could definitely put them out.
So
on there.
what? Yeah. So what? I don't know what to say. How do you rotate through 83 pairs?
Oh
of
no,
skis?
I only rotate and actually ski on 7.
How do you choose the quiver?
Well, you got your like super skinny ski for on piste, and then that ski right now is not in my quiver, so normally it's like an 8 quiver. And then I have a pair of OG Scotty Bobs with some Bishop Bomber originals on them. Nice time and...
Have you been skiing those this year?
I've skied them 2 days. Not a huge fan.
What do you think? Really? Talk to me about... So, again, to give a little context, Scotty Bob... again, I think it still exists. We looked it up.
Yes, but he is still making skis.
But that setup is like classic Summit County, Colorado, early 2000s. I'm pretty sure that's where they were made. Scotty Bob was like an asymmetrical. He had multiple models, but it was like an asymmetrical Telemark ski. And
yeah, so Nate has the bobtail, which if you look at a pair of skis,
Head
imagine.
rush.
Oh, you have a head rush.
Head rush.
Okay, well, it has bobtail features, I think is
Yeah.
what they would call that. But basically, if you look at a ski, you have a full side cut on the inner edge and then an abbreviated side cut on the outside edge. So you kind of have I don't really know how to describe it other than it's like you just have less edge to deal with. You maybe have like 30 or 40 centimeters less on the outside edge. So I think the idea is that as you're dropping a knee, you have less edge to deal with on that drop knee ski, correct?
Yeah, and you definitely feel that with those skis. I think I just have them a little bit too far mounted back, as well as not a huge fan of the Bishop Bomber binding. As much as I guess I overhyped it for myself.
what don't you like about... So, OG Bishop, 75 millimeter binding. What don't you like about it?
It skis a lot softer than I thought it was going to ski.
Everyone says that. Because it looks like a...
It looks bomber, and then it's really soft.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it certainly got the lateral stability.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's
got
not
this-
stiff springs.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think... I'm trying to think of... I don't know if I think I skied that 2.0.
Yeah, I think the design on those were basically the same.
Same
but
thing, yeah. That's crazy. So,
Scotty
so
Bob,
Scotty
and
Bob...
then what's next?
Yep.
Then the next one would be my older vocal mantras that have a pair of 22 design Vice with stiffy springs in them. Those are a fun setup, more of like a wall piece art. Again, Those are 98 underfoot, so a bit skinny for me. If you know me, I ski on a 120
on
underfoot.
a hard pack day.
Yeah, almost every day.
Oh, jeez.
And so those are my corduroy cutters, as I like to call them.
Okay.
The mantras or the 120s?
The mantras.
Okay.
Okay. Vocal mantra.
Yep. And
Vice.
With Vice.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then the next setup is, I guess it's my Bent Chetler, Atomic Bent Chetler 100s. And then those are, most of my skis are inserted mounted or Nate-certed. If you want to know more about that, come into the shop and we'll give you the spiel.
Oh, you don't just want to tease them? You don't want to explain it now?
No,
Okay.
they got to come in and ask.
Okay.
Got to come and ask. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So Ben Chetler 100s.
100s, mostly skied with Outlaws on those. Fun ski, as far as other skis go, it's one of my preferred skis. I definitely prefer the 120 over the 100, but the 100 is definitely better when conditions get icy and crusty.
I still don't understand the 120. Go through. Wait, is that the end of the Quiver?
No, then I have a pair of DPS 112s, and those are mounted up.
Whaler 112.
Yep, Whaler 112 with links most of the time. And that is my rock ski, which a lot of people think DPS, oh, that's expensive. No, probably the cheapest pair of skis that I bought for the Quiver.
That's so weird that I wouldn't think you would put the tech toe binding on the rock skis.
Well, it's the lightest ski. So light
does
ski.
It double as a touring and the rock ski?
It's mostly a touring ski / rock ski.
That shows a lot for your backcountry enthusiasm.
Yeah. If you're
calling
going
a rock ski
it's like
first.
Rock ski first. Oh yeah, that's my touring setup too.
Well, I learned very early on that when you go up the Cottonwood Canyons, you are gonna ski over rocks.
Yeah, no, that's true. It is kind of rocky. So that's the main Quiver out of the 80 whatever pair of skis that you have.
And then Bent Chetler 120s is the everyday driver.
That's so bizarre.
What do you like about that fat of a ski on a daily basis?
Just the performance of the ski, that it feels very surfy, that it has a really big turn radius where you can lay it on edge and you don't do a whole lot of turning, but they're very light.
That sounds awesome. You lay it on edge, but you don't do a lot of turning. Please explain.
It's very smeary where
even on hard pack though, because I remember, look, I'll be honest, and we'll talk about Pebble Creek at some point. Maybe we'll get into this. But
I know where that's going.
Well, no, but I just remember that was kind of the first time I think we got to ski together. Maybe we skied a couple times. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was definitely the first
one
time
of the first. But you showed up with the 120s, and I'm like, dude, it's and it was icy in the kind of icy,
it was icy in the morning. Yeah,
and you showed up on the 120s, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, why do you have Ben Chetler 120s on an ice day? But you kind of held to. You've stuck to the story the whole time. You haven't wavered, so it's not.
I've skied now. This is my 4th set of Bent Chetlers that I've basically skied as my everyday ski.
I understand the surfiness, but I don't necessarily understand the surfy vibe on hardpack
all the time. It's
I'm open. I'm open to the idea here. I'm trying to understand what defines surfing, because here's the dilemma I have. I always think wide ski underfoot, tele turn. It's so much more to get out on the edge to slide it, that it seems like more effort, and I don't like that thick feeling under my foot when it's hard pack. So what differs for you? Because you know me, I'm open every style. But I am fascinated by this one. Fat skis on icy hard pack.
I think this morning was a really good example where over on Supreme, coming down Supreme Bowl groomer, you just kick them sideways and you literally slide 30 yards trying to dig in that edge.
Did you ever connect the edge?
What do you mean?
Like, did the edge ever hook up and connect, or do you? Just slide?
Just straight up slide.
So you just like drifting.
Yeah, I basically drifting the entire time.
So-
Like I think
so
of my
basic-
skiing as like almost like a drift car. That's a good way.
So
of thinking
basically,
about
you're
it.
saying you're the Ken Block of telemark skiing.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
fair enough.
Yeah, okay.
What is Jim? Is it Jim Kana? Is that what?
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of his video series.
So basically, we're gonna have to.
Nate
That-
likes
we should do a Nate Kana edit series where you're just sliding on fat skis on really icy terrain.
I'm down for it. Let's do it.
We'll just find little bends and it'll just be Nate sliding by the corner. Like. That's pretty funny. All right.
Yeah, I could see that wide of a ski on a really deep day, but I'm too lazy. I don't want to have to get that big of a ski on edge. Like I like to be on edge, carving.
Oh yeah, you guys are polar opposites in your styles for sure.
No, it took me one run on Tay's skis to be like, nope, not for me.
Yeah, because he likes carvy skis.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
long, very stiff, very carvy. Where I like a soft, progressive flexed ski that's very wide.
Huh. Fascinating. I like that. Okay, that was a good explanation.
Well, to each his own.
No, and I think that's a good illustration of like how wide, like how broad telemark skiers are. I mean, the 120, it's interesting too, because Tay and I were talking about this as we were testing some skis, and it's like, there's definitely, you don't even see 120s that much anymore. Like people are starting to kind of graduate back down the number scale, you know? I mean, there was a point where it was like fatter. And
Yeah, I mean, people were making skis like 135 underfoot.
dude, the Liberty Genome was like literally like 145.
We did mount a pair of those too.
Do you remember those?
Yeah, they looked like snowboards. Ashley came down into the tech shop one day and was like, "Oh my god, what are those?"
Yeah, and those actually, I tested those the year they came out when I was the editor at Telemark Skier magazine, and they sent us a pair, and it was like, I think we had like 4 inches of fresh at Powder Mountain. They were sick, awesome, like really cool ski, but like kind of like unless it's fresh outside, it's like the 88, the Quiver of 88 skis. Like if you had that ski and you're just like, yep, looks like a genome day, I'm gonna grab these like 145 underfoot.
Yeah, I could see a super fat ski as a Quiver play, but I'm much more like I'm gonna grab something roughly 100 underfoot for a daily driver.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, but that's a West Coast thing too.
Definitely.
Like 120. I mean, so here's another question. So out of the 88 skis, if you had to choose like a really unique ski out of the 88, are they all Telemark mounted now? Or could
they're
be?
all, yeah, they all could be. I forgot one. I forgot my leather setup. The
yeah.
Volant Chubs with some black diamond bulldog bindings. Or Pitbull.
You
excuse
put pit bulls on Volant Chubs?
me. Yeah, I did.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
It's too bad. It's too bad the Chubs aren't gold. It's got like a stainless steel finish on the top. But if it was
Yeah.
It's
gold,
metallic.
yeah.
Yeah, it's shiny. And then the bottom's like a full-on zebra print on the P-Tex, which is...
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Volant Chub. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Okay, and so I guess the reason I'm pausing, I'm hesitating because Tay and I are purists in the sense of like leather, but it should be said Nate is going to be the head judge this year of the Smelly Knee Pad, so we should be nice to him because hopefully he'll.
Nate has to be very unbiased.
Oh, no. I want the sendiest line out of all of you.
I know. I'm scared. I'm scared of Tay because we're going on. Last year didn't happen on the Smelly Knee Pad. The year before, there's an asterisk for sure by my name. And then Tay's got 2 titles before that. So this is a big year. So it's going to be interesting seeing how that
Yeah, it
ends
should have
up.
been 3 in a row, but there was a
Well, net and
equipment-
gross, right?
Yeah, there's equipment controversy.
Yeah. We'll have to do a documentary one day.
Yeah, definitely. We'll tell the
Volant-
story.
But Volant, yeah. So like as a leather setup, that's interesting because it's probably pretty wide. That's like early 2000s. Chub.
Yeah.
Full on chub.
You should find some Bumblebee T1s and pair those up with the chubs.
G3s. For sure.
Targas?
Targas on the chub. That'd be a good. You're linking it up there, dude.
Too late.
Think about it.
Yeah, I got rid of the Targas.
It's all good.
Well, there's a lot of them out there in the wild, so you can find another pair someday.
What we didn't talk about just on gear otherwise. See, here's the one thing I appreciate about Nate is Nate is a true purist of fashion, which I think personally is actually a really cool thing because generally most telemarketers are gear nerds. You happen to be like a gear nerd mixed with a fashion nerd, but like somehow you blend them together because you're not just fashion and you're not just gear. Like you would buy gear, for instance, with a zebra pattern on the bottom of the ski, not for the performance factor, because of the fashion factor.
Yeah.
Right. Which is cool. Like you show up to work with like North Face, like
Thermoball puffy slippers.
I didn't even know what to call them. Thank you very much.
Or Yeezys. Yeezys is his normal day shoe.
Is that the
Kanye West shoe.
That is the Kanye West shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Boost
Really?
350s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a hype beast,
In pirate
as the
black.
kids say these days.
I don't even
but
know what you're talking about. This is the
Kanye West makes a shoe line,
yeah, I know that.
and these shoes are very much coveted by people that are into streetwear and fashion. And I mean, like a new pair in box is going to go on eBay for 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times even the retail value.
Do they limit them?
They're always in high demand.
How many pairs do you have?
Of Yeezys, I have one real pair and then a couple of fake pairs, and then
Fake pairs?
they're knockoffs. They're not legit, but they look legit.
Do you get them on the internet?
Of course.
Okay. I don't know how you tell if they're fake or not. I didn't even know. I remember hearing about Yeezys, right? This is when the old man asked you if I'm saying it right. I don't even think I've noticed them. Are you wearing them now? What are you wearing right now?
Right now I'm wearing a nice Columbia shoe.
That's very nice.
Very retro teal and purple.
Very 90s.
Fully waterproof.
Oh.
It's kind of got the original Terminator vibe going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the original Terminator vibe. That's all 90s were definitely purple and teal era.
But, Nate does care about colors of things. He cares about his fashion sense. He sticks to what he likes.
Oh, absolutely.
He doesn't care if you don't like it. If he likes it, Nate's wearing it.
Yeah.
Here, I want to ask you this because here is an interesting thing that always comes up is we talk about this, like the boot colors don't change. And I want to touch on the used gear side of this with you because what's interesting is teaching you used gear and then seeing you do your used Telemark gear videos on the used gear channel on YouTube and Instagram. You tend to hone in on like colorways, what boots look like. This is very unique to you. And I actually really like it because I think there's more people out there like you than people give credit. Is like, I think more, even if they're not like, all right, they're buying Yeezy shoes and whatever, they probably want a boot color change every couple years, or they want a cool graphic on the ski. Your thoughts?
Definitely. Like for me, like the most iconic boots are the best looking ones, like the Black Diamond Push creamsicle color line of that orange and white just looks really clean. And then the Scarpa Candy Cane with the white with the red buckles, it's just a fancy looking boot. And that catches your eye more than just like your run of the mill, like, oh, that's a black boot, that's a blue boot. And I'm very much amongst the people that believe if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you ski good.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, there's not enough color changes or options.
Definitely not.
I know. And see, that's what's kind of funny is you actually have to go back in time and buy used equipment if you want to try and match colors to stuff. Because there's not that many color changes in the last 5 or 10 years. We always joke about that with the white tee races. I mean, those came out for like 2 years, and then people are still spending ridiculous amounts of money on the internet to buy that boot because it looks cool.
For sure. It does look cool. I'm very happy that I own a pair of candy cane T races.
As well as me. Like, it's just an iconic boot, and if you know, you know. And
I still don't have a pair. Size 27, email me. Let me know if you got a pair you want to get rid of.
Oh, I know somebody who has a pair.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hook it up.
I think I can do that.
Okay.
Work a deal.
Back alley.
It's Wyatt.
Oh, really? He's got a pair of 27s?
He should have a pair of candy canes.
In a 27?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. He's holding out on me.
Come on, Wyatt. When you're listening to this on Monday morning.
Wyatt's going to be like, oh, dude. Now Madsen knows I have these. All right. Anyways, so, but I appreciate your fashion sense. That's cool. Have you always been like that? Like with clothing and like your whole life?
Definitely very much my own fashion style. And I'm going to wear what I'm going to wear. I don't care if you like it. I like it, so I'm going to wear it.
How would you describe your style?
Me? I don't know. Kind of grungy, but I like to be monochromatic. I like to match my shoes to my hat.
Kind of grungy makes me feel old. Just only because I grew up in the 90s, so that's weird that you're using that as a descriptive. But I appreciate it. What do you mean by grungy? Grungy as in dirty, or grungy as in like you want to look like Kurt Cobain?
Kind of like Kurt Cobain, but a little bit more put together.
I thought you looked like Bill Murray yesterday.
Oh, that was a rough outfit, and I feel like you caught me on one of my off days.
You look like Bill Murray in The Life Aquatic. I mean, you right?
Well, it was a yellow vest.
A yellow,
not
puffy vest.
Oh, okay. It was a yellow puffy vest,
and then you had like a flipped up beanie,
a folded beanie.
A folded beanie.
It wasn't orange either. But no, it was a close look, which I haven't seen that movie still, which I need to go watch that.
It was sort of like a mix between like Bill Murray and like Curious George. Like it was like a banana yellow vest.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
All right. We'll just leave it at that. Anyways, your style is usually pretty on point. It's original. I like that.
It's original. If you're ever up at, Alta on Sunday, Mondays while the Freeheel Life shop is closed and we're skiing around, there's only one guy on the mountain wearing a gold jacket and a gold pant, North Face, and Supreme collab. Supreme is also one of these brands that is now with the hype beasts.
And I totally
they
don't.
Call them.
And this is what I told Miles and you. And we'll have Miles on the podcast too. But the whole Supreme thing is very bizarre because it's like supposedly like a 90s skate brand. I don't remember it. And I grew up in the 90s. And I'm not saying that it was like a skateboarder by any means, but I don't know if we should ask Travi B. I wonder if he knows what Supreme is.
He might.
Yeah. But I don't know how that's so big.
I don't either.
Okay.
The only piece of Supreme I have is my jacket and pant combo.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I lied. I have a matching hat too that I now have to wear into the shop because with masks, people frequently confuse me for Taylor to the point that
because you guys kind of have
clear rimmed glasses, facial hair.
Do you ever?
I'm growing out my hair for a mullet for the smelly knee pad, but.
Oh, geez.
Last summer, Nate and I were rocking buzzed heads because barbershops were closed, so we gave ourselves our own haircuts.
Have you ever just gone with it?
Just the other day when I was working at the golf course, some lady gave me a package for Taylor's mom, and I was just like, Janet Johnson, okay.
So it's not just here at the ski shop?
No, it's definitely more at the golf course, but it's definitely this year has happened a lot more with the masks on.
That's so wild. I guess you guys, I could see that. I mean, similar.
Nate's my little brother.
That's funny.
He's my little step brother that looks more like me than my actual younger brother.
That's funny. Well, cool. So we've covered fashion, we've covered used gear. I guess what is I was curious, like what stepping into this new role here this year, used gear, like what is it? Because you haven't been a Telemark skier that long. I mean, like what, 4 years?
This is season number 4 full time, which I swapped to Tele full time after blowing out both my knees.
Tell us about that.
So skiing at Alta April 29th and mocking down with a buddy and ended up airing off some rocks that I didn't know were there. Basically 20 feet out, 20 feet down to flat. Didn't eject out of either binding, but the crash resulted in...
On your Alpine bindings?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so... And the DINs were only set at like 10, and normally I would have them at 12 to 14.
I don't know what that means at all.
Very suspect.
It's high on the DIN chart, which means normally I wouldn't come out, but I had them tuned down, still didn't come out. But
so you hit flat and just like didn't eject and tore both.
I tried to ride it out, but I ended up tearing both ACLs, my left meniscus, and then bone bruised both femurs and both tib fibs in the knee joint, and my right heel was basically close to shattering.
Ow, ow, ow.
That's crazy.
Sounds painful just saying that.
Yeah, so that was
So you get toboggan down,
hung out at the car for a while, and then went home. And
like you drove yourself home.
I
after
drove
that?
myself home.
Oh, jeez.
I was walking around the parking lot, and
like
I
just
thought
on adrenaline or what?
I don't know. I don't know how I was doing it. But my right heel was the thing that was bugging me the most. I didn't know I tore my ACLs, and it wasn't until I got home when I went to get out of my car, I literally fell out of the car because both my knees gave out.
Whoa.
And then when I got over to the stairs, I was like, I can't pick up one of my feet because I can't support my body weight on the other leg.
Jeez,
And
dude.
so then I did a nice little butt scooch up the stairs and ended up going to the doctors a week later. And they're like, you tore both ACLs. And then did some x-rays, and they're like, you bone bruised both your femurs and both your tib fibs in the knee joint. And your right heel was ready to shatter. If you would have hit it any harder, you probably would have shattered your heel.
Whoa. That's wild. So okay, so that was the end of a season 4 years ago.
Yep.
And then how did the whole Telemark thing come about?
Physical therapist and surgeon, both of them basically in one of our joint meetings were like, have you tried Telemark skiing? And I was like, yeah, I've dabbled with it the last few years, but not the biggest fan. It's really hard. And they're like, well, you should probably take it a bit more seriously because it's going to strengthen everything around your knee joints far more than alpine skiing would do, as well as the crashes are far more stretchy and not hard jerks, which is where you really get those ACL tears, as well as it will slow you down and it'll force you to go slower. And now it may have done that for about a season, but I'm definitely skiing just as hard as I was before. A little bit more cautious and changed perspective, but...
So it was the surgeon and the physical therapist together talking about this?
Mm-hmm.
Were either one of them Telemark skiers?
No.
Weird. That's how we should market. We should definitely start getting those guys on board.
Hey, Patty O'Connell, it's safer on the knees, okay?
I was just gonna say. I was gonna say. Oh, Patty O'Connell might have. He might have to be. We might have to lead into like Nate is on the bypass road, double knee replacement. Anyways, no, keep going on this because that's interesting that neither one of them is a Telemark skier yet. They're suggesting to do it, and I mean, so you come back and you start Telemark skiing, but you really haven't done it a whole lot. What was that like?
So I started in my senior year Telemark skiing, and that was like
Of high school?
Yeah, of high school. So 2013 was the first year I got on tele skis, and that
what was the inspiration? I always ask this question to people because I don't know any different. I was indoctrinated into it. Johnson family, Telemark Skiers. I didn't really have a choice. I like it. I love it. I'm not going to switch, but I didn't have a choice. What was inspiring to you about it?
It just looked cool. Like,
Did you have a friend that did it?
no,
Seriously?
no, it was always like just skiing at Snow Basin, and I was like, wow.
Oh yeah.
Those very rare and occasional tele skiers. And there was some DPS crew guys up there that were on tele skis.
Could have been like,
Probably Alex.
what year was it?
2013.
I don't know what year they started working there, but probably
Yeah. I mean, it could have been, some of those guys.
Alex,
LeBlanc.
Greg, Spencer.
Yeah, it almost seems a little before their time, but
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe not though. Maybe it was right around the same time. I mean, JT would have been up there. JT Robinson. Anyways, that's cool. So you saw it.
Saw it and was like, that looks rad. I want to try that. And ended up getting a pair of skis, boots, skins, and bindings for like $75, and went up and was like,
Taught yourself?
well, yeah, it definitely took a lot longer than I thought it would to teach myself. My dad remembered his trying tele back in the 80s and bought me a little Telemark book.
Did you get the Mike and Allen's one?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
With all the fun cartoons.
Everyone's read that book. I need to
read that.
I'll bring in my copy.
I think I've got a copy too somewhere. We need to find Mike and Allen. Mike and Allen, if you're out there, I want to talk to you on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be really interesting.
Because that book has a lot of my friends that are self-taught telemark skiers learn from that book.
Oh yeah, that's got to be like, that thing's literally been around since I was a kid. Like a lot. That's old. So Mike and Allen's.
Yep. Read through the book, had a couple of pages marked with some sticky notes and some highlighters, and just kept it right in the chest pocket. I made the mistake of taking the strawberry or the gondola all the way to the top at Snow Basin, and I basically was trying to forward pressure my boots the whole time on some Garmont Veloces and Targas on Super Stinks. And
Classic.
So I definitely went over the handlebars quite a few times, and I made it one run, and I was like, screw this. I am putting this in the car, and I'm going back to Alpine for the day.
Funny.
And that was kind of my experience for the next few years, and it wasn't until I actually started to try and get into the backcountry that I was like, well, I'm gonna cheap out, and I'm going to use my tele gear to tour up. And then I would swap to my Alpine gear that was on my back. I would lay on my back and swap boots and skis. You're looking at me like I'm crazy right now.
Wait. You were standing up with Alpine skis, boots clicked into the skis, strapped to a backpack.
Yeah.
And then you had tele skis on your feet?
Yeah.
So you skied down with skis on your back?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, really, really backwards.
That's a good way
looking back on it.
That's a good way
now.
to make some friends in the
Hey, wait, weenies
backcountry.
out there, you know? Nate was dragging up a whole extra setup.
That is amazing. That's like the best backcountry story I've ever heard.
When you're a broke college student, sometimes you use what you have.
I actually, the resourcefulness of it is fantastic, because honestly, that's more like how I think people were. Well, it's kind of weird that you took skis up with boots in them. I mean, that part is a little strange.
He went uphill on his uphill setup, Targas and Veloces, and downhill on his Alpine setup.
Yeah.
It's funny that you didn't use snowshoes. That would be my first question.
Again, another investment that I didn't want to make.
But you already had the tele skis.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I didn't know that story at all. That's great. Okay, keep going. So you started backcountry skiing. You started backcountry telemark skiing, but not actually telemark skiing all the way.
Uphill telemark skiing. Sometimes Josh and I talk about telemark being the downhill technique, but Nate was only using his tele skis for the uphill access.
Yeah. So that went on for about 2 seasons, and then I ended up getting an AT setup and ditched the second setup on my back. So tried that out, and then blew out my knees and swapped to tele full time. And I wasn't loving tele at the beginning of that season on my retro setup. Was feeling pretty rough, and I got a pair of NTN Rotafella free rides and put those on a pair of skis that I had that I needed to mount up, and I literally spent 3 days on them, and I took, I think it was 6 pairs of alpine skis, 4 pairs of boots, 2 snowboards and boots, and sold them within the week because I was like, I don't need anything else.
Now I'm remembering because you used to come in here and buy metal plates.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Metal
I totally
free-ride
forgot
plates.
about that.
And every time you would have to run into the back and scrounge them up from somewhere.
Do you probably appreciate that more now if you think about it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's funny because, yeah. Oh, man. I think of it. That's funny. Now I remember because you always wanted the metal plates. And so, like, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Rotafella Freeride binding, it's the first NTM binding. But there's the very beginning of it, it had a metal, so you could buy like a secondary kit, but it was a metal plate. And then later it was a plastic one. But the metal plate was kind of like, you had the orange ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the orange free rides, and then there was like one version of the black free ride that matched the metal plate, but there's like all these weird variations. And then like that even makes me laugh because you know how now being the used gear specialist, there's literally like boxes of parts.
Yeah.
And like we're getting pretty organized, but it's taken like 6 years of like, basically you're describing most years here where someone runs and, oh yeah, dude, we can totally help you out. And then it's like, go to the back and like going through piles and
digging
boxes.
through some dusty box. And yeah, the used parts project has been a Freeheel Life project since I was volunteering here. Where the demo skis are stored currently, there's a bunch of holes in the drywall because Josh and I had these tiny little bins of, this is where we're going to organize all this stuff. It didn't last very long. We quickly realized somehow we accumulate a lot of used Tele parts.
I still found, I was cleaning out another room and found a sheet from LeBlanc, and it's like a printed out sheet of all the parts at the beginning, and it's like highlighted and notes and inventory.
We're getting pretty close to having a finalized system.
If you're a shop out there that thinks you want to get into used Telemark parts, I mean, I'm all about, you doing it, but beware. It takes a while.
It's definitely an ordeal, going back and sifting through all those and delineating all the separate bindings and their parts. And
yeah, and we're almost there. I put racks up for you today.
Oh, more. Sweet.
You'll have to check it out. So we're almost there.
Almost there. So you got an NTN set up, and that was like, I'm good.
I was like, I can do, it's a toe side turn on a snowboard. It has way more power than the 75 millimeter Targas that I was using, and I felt like I could go fast again.
Was that a big difference for you? Like Targa, kind of different experience, free ride, and like just
like life changing, like totally different experience between the two.
Because from a performance factor, you were able to do more what you could do on alpine skis on a free ride.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, now that you've worked here, I mean, like, you see people come in all the time with G3 Targas, and we love you guys.
It's great binding.
I always have to say that now because everybody always is like, you guys hate us. We still have G3 Targas, and I have to, like, say that. Anyways, no, but people come in, and that's, for some people, it's a really hard transition, but for you, it wasn't.
No, the performance of, I can have brakes, step in, somewhat of a tour mode compared to the Targas with not a tour mode, and and then like putting it on a more modern ski than what I had with my 75 millimeter setup that I was using to hike up mountains. Then put on my back. It just was, all around, it was just better, and I felt like I could do everything that I wanted to do as far as alpine and parallel turns, while still dropping the knee and really diving into the sport that I love and so much now. Yeah,
so coming from free rides, if you had to go back to free rides, would it be hard at this point?
So hard.
Did you try to go back to them for a second? Like, I mean, on a certain setup?
I had overlap, because now I'm on basically...
That sounds like a condition. I had overlap.
Yeah, it's a real problem in your quiver when you have multiple bindings that don't have the same mount pattern, and you have to really be like, do I want to ski on that ski, but I have to ski on that binding? But yeah, I skied with the red cartridges on the Freeride, and going back to the Freeride after skiing the Outlaw X, even with standard springs, was ridiculously soft.
I think
feeling.
Probably because of the pivot position, yeah?
Yeah, very much that pivot position being up on the toe.
On the Freerides.
On the Freerides made it feel very, very light and active, where it felt much easier, but with less, I guess, control or stability in that turn. But it felt a bit easier to get into that deeper turn, where the Outlaw's pivot position being more under the ball of your foot makes it feel much more active. And it feels more controlled.
That's interesting.
It's been a while since I've skied free rides. That was my first NTN, and I adjusted to them and learned to like them for a while, but it was kind of like, I think when I first skied the beta version of the Outlaw X, it was like, oh yeah, this is what I want, and then that's now what makes up my entire
pretty
NTN
standard.
quiver. Yeah.
We might have to go back and ski some free rides. It's interesting because the free ride, that's why I was curious kind of if you've gone back in time, because again, it's always fun to go back and ski this stuff that's older or whatever. But I mean, the Rotofella free ride and the Freedom, to me at this point, seem outdated, because you can get what that was trying to do 12 years ago. No, it's even longer than that. 08.
13. That's 2021 as we're speaking.
Yep. Totally. So it's like it's outdated. Like I always say, and you guys, I haven't been up in the front of the shop like you guys have, but the way I would say it a couple of years ago, it's like you had the Ferrari then, and like, yeah, it's a cool like vintage piece, but it's like not the Ferrari like now, So it's Outlaw X. You can get all those features and improved.
Yeah, and far more customizable, which is what I really like.
Yeah.
As well as I ski on the links, I would say I tour more than most people here at the shop, if not more than everybody.
Which is so weird. People are probably out there like, you guys are telemarkers and don't tour.
Or not, yeah. I mean, I own backcountry equipment and I do go backcountry skiing, but I haven't skinned once this season.
I haven't either.
I think I'm at like 11 backcountry days.
That's great.
But like the backcountry was just so scary this year.
Yeah. So you're doing links. So you're doing tech on the backcountry, and then...
Yeah, now I'm using a pair of Michael Bolton duck-butted F1s with links.
Okay. Get perfect segue.
So you own
perfect segue into your boot collection.
Yeah, you own 83 pairs of skis. How many pairs of boots?
Okay, going through the boots, I have a pair of Fabiano double leathers, and then I have a pair of Andrew super comps.
Those are actually pretty cool.
And then jumping to plastic 75 millimeter boots, I have 2 pairs of T-Races.
One red and black and one candy cane, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, you got to make sure you got both colorways.
And then jumping to NTN, I have a pair of TX boots, the Scarpa TX.
Oh yeah, we're part of like
the TX crew.
TX crew now. Those are sweet.
They're super sweet.
I know we always talk about this, and I think Scarpa probably hates us for that, but like, good.
Well, I have a new mod for them that I'm definitely doing.
Good boot.
Yeah, awesome boot.
The old walk mode's not as awesome, but whatever.
It's much easier to flip up and down.
That's true.
Than
it's not as
the
beefy.
new ones.
Not as beefy, but yeah.
But yeah,
cool colors on the fashion sense though.
For sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people confuse them for TX comps with that green yellow rather than that yellow green that you get on the comps.
Yeah. Good boot though.
Yeah, solid boot. And then I have a pair of TX Pros that I have modified to have some Mastrale or Scarpa Mastrale cuffs. And then converted that down to a 3-buckle as well. And the big reason for that was range of motion while touring.
What do you know what they weigh?
They weigh about 1,400 grams.
It's pretty light. I don't know.
It's light.
I like how Tay and I look at each other like, is that supposed to be good?
The weight savings is about the weight of a buckle, and then like a few 100 grams of plastic shaving. To accommodate for.
Is that the Ghost boot you talk about?
Yeah, it's what I call the Scarpa TX Ghost, because I swapped out the tongue. It's on the original TX Pro, and so it's mostly black. And then I swapped out the tongue for the new women's tongue, and then the strap. So it's nice white and black boot.
Oh.
And people always look at it and ask me, fashion, yeah.
I like that. Those AT guys are like pulling the tongues out of the boots. Have you seen that yet?
No. Yeah, I've seen it on AT boots, but that's just, I don't need that much range of motion.
Maybe you should try it.
We don't do that much flat striding here in the Wasatch.
We should try that.
It's basically all uphill.
We need to get, you know who? The Strider, the banana boy.
The Strider, the Schemo Tele Banana Boy.
I think it's Ford Ranger Boy now.
What?
He bought a Ford Ranger.
Did he change it?
No, he
didn't change
should.
It. He's still backcountry Banana Boy, but
we really shout out to Elliot, by the way. So, but we should just side note. What do you guys think about starting a Schemo race only for Telemark skiers?
I'd love it.
You do it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I'll hand out the prizes.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll probably throw up along the way because I'm going to be chasing Elliot, and he's going to have 9 more bananas in his system than I do.
I hadn't even thought about that till right now, but maybe that needs to happen at some point. Is just ultra specific. I mean, you guys doing all your boot mods and
The late nights in the Freeheel Life Tech Shop.
Oh my, you guys are ridiculous. Like I've never, I mean, I think I shouldn't say you're ridiculous because I want to encourage it, but at the same time, I'm like, you guys think a lot about boots. And so you guys are always like drilling cuffs out and like mixing and matching. And this is kind of a phenomenon too, because if for those of you that aren't on Instagram, you should get on. If you're into like weird boot modifications for Telemark, there's Telemark Undead.
Is undead.
Telemark is undead. There's literally like a page dedicated to
Boot mods.
So there's like this aftermarket, all these guys that are drilling out and putting different cuffs on, and it's cool. I mean, I have to admit, it's pretty cool because it could spawn a lot of ideas for the right company if they're paying attention, which sometimes I don't know, but it's interesting for.
Well, it's also, I think it's cool because it kind of goes back to history of, Josh, you've talked to people that were modding boots back in the day, looking for performance in different categories. Maybe maybe they're looking for a taller cuff or more like lateral edge control from the boot. But I think that mod and modification mindset has always been a part of the sport.
I agree with that, and I think if companies paid more attention to what's going on, again, it might not be the vast market right off the bat. Like a pickle barrel became super comps.
Yeah.
And then became a plastic boot. But with that said, I mean, some of the stuff you see with like buckles, even Dosty, like he was one of the first guys I saw do one of those big strap buckles across the top. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the cool part is it gets you guys all thinking, and what you mentioned, Michael Bolton, and
we're not even through Nate's whole boot quiver.
All right.
Yeah. We ended at the TX
I'm
Ghost.
I'm going to shut up. The TX Ghost. Please continue, Nate. Tell us about your boots.
TX Ghost, and then I have a pair of comps that are power wrapped with booster straps, power blocked, and then reverse bottom buckled.
So you like switch the buckle to go the opposite way?
Yeah, on the bottom buckle.
Why'd you do that?
Wyatt told me to.
Well, I haven't done that to my boots yet, but the one thing that it is better, I think, is if you open the buckle, the buckle is just pointing straight up on the top of your foot, and then the catch is on the side of your foot, versus if you open the buckle and the catch is on top, then you have this buckle sticking out 2 inches off the side. And
Not great for Wildcat boot packs or proper warm-up, as we call it.
I just never mess with my boots that much during the day.
You got your hands full with this crew, dude. Like, I've never... I mean, we didn't do this stuff when we started at the shop, and now you got, like, guys staying late and, like, literally, like, drilling their boots out.
Yeah. Well...
It's wild. It's kind of cool. It's cool.
It's fun. I usually just sit in the corner and just watch them go to town with power tools and stuff, but, you know.
Yeah.
So then TX comps, and then the
comps,
and then
F1 with bellows.
Yeah, the Scarpa F1 with the bellows, and then I bolted on a duck butt, I guess.
Yeah, which is by this guy.
Duck butt. Yeah.
I need to get that guy on the podcast.
Is his name actually Michael?
No, he calls it the Michael Bolt-on.
Like the singer.
Yeah. Michael, did you know that? Do you even know who Michael Bolton is?
No.
Oh, see, that's why it's not as funny, is because you're not aware of who Michael Bolton is. And he's like in the 80s, 90s, probably 90s. I mean, this dude had like sweet long hair and a singer. I'll show you some Michael Bolton.
Okay.
It's going to give whole new meaning. You're going to be stoked because now you're going to be like, oh my God, like that's why he called it the Michael Bolt-on. Like there's meaning behind it.
Okay.
So anyways, but it's a 3D printed duck butt, meaning the second heel of the NTM boot, and he's added it to the F1 AT boot to then fit in. Tell me about the performance of that, because people are going to be interested.
So range of motion and weight are phenomenal. It's crazy lightweight, where it's lighter than most AT boots. And then the performance, I've put on a booster strap on those to help heighten the cuff, and then I have the middle version where it's not the carbon spine and it's not the full tongued version. So it's like, I would say probably the best both uphill downhill version of the F1. But skied them a few days in bounds trying to blow them up, and they rip just as hard as the TXs did.
How's the stride?
The stride is way better than any boot that I've been in for a Tele
How many
boot.
steps per 1,000 feet of vert do you save?
Enough.
I wish I have nothing to relate this to. Like, I look at that stuff and I'm like, I mean, really, if you're in total honesty, if you're hiking up, if you're skinning up a switchback, do you really notice the difference?
Oh, yeah.
Really? What do you notice the difference in?
The stride I notice most after you get up to the meadows going up Grizzly Gulch. Or my favorite touring spot up by Mirror Lake Highway once they open it up in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty flat tour out to hit some coolars. But you definitely feel that you have a more natural walking motion. And then on tech pins, the touring's really efficient, and I definitely noticed the difference of like lighter boot, longer stride.
Yeah, I can see the lightweightness makes sense, just from a distance, type
like
of thing.
The range of motion thing, you probably only notice on flat or terrain, right? Because once you have your climber heels up and you're skimming up something steeper, you're not like pointing your foot.
Yeah, it's definitely on the flats.
Flats, you're picking it up. Yeah, that makes sense. Huh.
So that's what, 8 pairs of boots, 2 leathers, 2 75s, and
4
3 NTNs plus 1 hybrid.
So 8 pairs
Hybrido
of boots.
NTN.
Hi what?
Hybrido. I don't know.
I like
I thought you said hi burrito.
No.
I was like, wait, where are you guys headed with this thing? Were you this passionate about alpine gear?
No.
Huh. That's
like I definitely had like a 5 ski quiver, which part of
plus 75.
No, it was
all the
only
skis?
like a strict 5. Mostly because my parents like followed my bank transactions. And when I was living up in Logan, they would text me and they'd be like, I think you bought a pair of skis. And I'd be like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, another one? And I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'm selling another one today. And
you had to like tell them that you were selling one because you picked up another.
Yeah, because they're like, what is he spending all this money on? And then like I'm immediately flipping another ski that was in the Quiver that just got replaced.
Yeah, Nate has like do you have a spreadsheet of like your initial investment into Ski Quiver, and then you just buy one for X amount of hundreds of dollars and sell the other one for X amount of hundreds of dollars, and then it's a wash, or what?
Always try to make a profit, but which a lot of people think is crazy that I ski on gear for a season or two and then sell it for what I bought it for, if not more.
Wow, that's funny.
But I try to take really good care of my gear, like always waxing, always P-Texing. If you can avoid a rock, do, but if you hit them, oh well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, take care of your gear. Why not? It's like, it's an expensive piece of equipment, high performance gear. Like, take care of it.
Yeah, but also tools, not jewels.
True.
Good quote. I like it. Well, with that, it's been good having you here.
Oh, I'm so glad to be on here.
You're killing well in the podcast, but also at the shop, man. We love having you here. You've picked up the gold standard of Telemark title with us, at least. So, which is funny because if people go to look for you on Instagram, I'll make sure to link the Instagram. It's not Tele Nate because he can't get into that Instagram, so just don't go to that one. It's a 24 karat Tele.
Yep.
And people can scope that out there. And I don't know, you still front page of the Alta website in your gold outfit? Or was that just like a fleeting photo of the day?
Oh, I don't know.
They use it for a lot of stuff. They use it for their email blast,
Instagram
photo.
Yeah, you've done good this year, man. You
blog
got
post.
Yeah, your photo's out there, dude. So if you see a guy in a gold North Face Supreme collab outfit, that's Nate.
Yeah. It's really hard to miss me on the mountain, too. Like,
yeah.
Say hi.
Say hi. Head judge of the Smelly Knee Pad this year.
Follow him from 25 feet away and see if he notices you.
I hope some kid creeps on you. That's awesome. It's really funny to hear these stories like years later and think like, wow, that's funny that Nate was like following you and didn't know that you worked here, and then you end up hiring him to work here, which is even awesome.
Yeah, no, I would agree with Josh though. It's been awesome to have you here. Been a good hire. We're stoked to have you part of the team, and I think for next season, you have set the standard of we will be implementing a new phone policy of Freeheel Life. This is Nate. How may I help you? You're the only person, including myself, that does that. I'm always willing to help you, but I only ever answer the phone. Freeheel Life. This is Taylor, and then wait for you to say something.
Yeah, you are the
go
most
above
polite.
And beyond and say, how may I help you? I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm glad you brought that to my attention too, because like that is cool that you go like above and beyond. We always talk about being on the A team. Always on the A team.
Always
got to be on the A team. Cool. Anything else you want to bring? I mean, this is the one of many. Don't feel like you got to pack it all in. We covered some good stuff. You were worried about what we were going to talk about. I knew we barely scratched we got through your Quiver basically on this podcast, dude.
My introduction to Tele and my Quiver, really.
Yeah, like basically you blew your knees out, how you got into Telemark, and then your 88 skis and boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it. So
that's it. Well,
thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and this will be good. So check out Nate, 24 karat Tele. He's our used gear specialist. He's killing it. He'll be taking a little break for the summer. Usually he's on the Instagram and the YouTube pages, pushing all the used gear out of here. But yeah, stoked to have you here. Thanks for coming on, dude.
And follow me, Tele Tay.
Look at that plug.
Come on.
Of course he tries to plug himself. All right, boys, we're out.
Peace.
Oh, that was great having Nate on the podcast for the first time, and always great to have the old Tele Tay. And good to see the boys. These guys, now that we're wrapping up the season, it's really fun to kind of I'm trying to kind of get the whole crew, make sure we get each of them on the podcast so you guys can get to know them a little bit better out there. And that's super important to me because they all put so much hard work in to Freeheel life and everything we're doing here, and are really dedicated to the mission and the cause, and that's incredibly important. And Nate's awesome, and I love his individuality, and he's always pushing the fashion and some of the fun stuff like that. And quite frankly, the thing I love about it is a lot of people love that stuff, and I do too. I want things to look cool, and I think Telemark could do a lot better job of that. And we're always hoping to do that too, with our lifestyle stuff. And as we get into making more stuff, we want to make it cool and change it up and stoke everyone out there. So thanks for listening. That was a fun little talk. And I can't say I have as many pairs of skis or boots as Nate, but good to know somebody on the team does. So how you guys can support us, as always, we would love to be your preferred shop and brand, and shopping with us at freeheellife.com. We still have some demo stuff that we're getting rid of, so pay attention to that. Make sure you sign up for the mailing list. There's a link in the podcast notes. And we're going to be sending out, like we always do, a weekly newsletter to keep you guys engaged and knowing what's going on. We don't pass that information on to anybody but us. And it's our way to stay in touch with you. Stay tuned, as we are going to be relaunching telemarkskier.com with some premium content. If you haven't heard, Craig Dostie, the one and only gear guru himself, is going to be leading up the editorial department at Telemark Skier magazine moving forward, and we're going to be doing it digitally at telemarkskier.com, and are super psyched to be bringing that back and starting to bring content. And yeah, we're going to launch it here in the spring, and we're going to keep on charging forward. So it's going to be great. We hope you'll be a part of it. Telemark Skier magazine is part of the Freeheel Life family, and we're just psyched that we've got I'm stoked that I've got such an amazing team of people to help us with all these projects that we've got going on. You can email me direct at podcast@freeheellife.com, or even shoot me a direct message on Instagram. I definitely check that out like once or twice a week at Josh Nomadson, and would love to connect with you on there. So cool to see another winter gone by, heading into spring, thinking about all my friends in the Southern Hemisphere. I hope you guys are able to do some skiing this winter, and we're going to keep on keeping on. So until next week, spread Telemark always. Peace out.